The New York Times endorsement of Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar is a first. The paper has never endorsed two candidates before. Disappointed Bernie Sanders supporters responded. That helped Donald Trump win in 2016. The bumbling, divided Democrats are doomed to repeat history in 2020. Donald Trump keeps calling them the do-nothing Democrats, but they keep proving themselves worthy of the name. Democrats can't even pick one candidate they support to challenge Trump in 2020. Even the New York Times is lost in a break with convention. The editorial board has chosen to endorse two separate Democratic candidates for president. This does not bode well for Democrats. Might be even more embarrassing than when Nancy Pelosi finally got Donald Trump impeached, and then did nothing. VFGIPHY. He's crushing Elizabeth Warren in the polls. The energy is with him, just like it was in 2016. But the New York Times is trying to foist another candidate on the electorate, just like it did in 2016. And we all know how that worked out. The Times says Sanders is too old, too unhealthy, and too uncompromising. Its editorial board took this swipe at the Vermont senator. 3 years into the Trump administration, we see little advantage to exchanging one over-promising, divisive figure in Washington for another. Sanders supporters think the Times snub will help him in the primary. Source: Twitter. And pointed out he has practical accomplishments to go along with his rigid ideology. Source: Twitter. Democrats bumbling and divided. They've had 4 years to pull together after Hillary Clinton went down in flames. But Democrats are more bumbling and divided than ever. This primary's New York Times endorsement is a perfect sketch of a party with no confidence in any of its leaders. The Times editorial mentions that Joe Biden is leading in the polls, but it says it might be more a signal of familiarity than voter intention. And they're likely right, especially since Sanders supporters are putting their money where their mouth is. In 2016, Clinton went into the general election damaged from the close call with Sanders in the primary. The mainstream press still says Bernie Bros poisoned that primary. Sanders maintains it was rigged. Today, the Democrats' establishment-progressive divide is worse than ever. And the establishment side is hardly in love with their main standard-bearer. Bernie Sanders fills arenas, but former Vice President Joe Biden gets heckled in middle school gymnasiums. Even progressive Democrats are deeply divided between Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. The New York Times endorsement of two candidates from each side is a perfect cherry on top of a do-nothing Democrats' Sunday. Disclaimer: the opinions in this article do not necessarily reflect the views of ccn.com. This article was edited by Sam Borghi. Let's block ads. Why?